What's going on YouTube? JT's Reborn here, and welcome back to another edition of my DC comic book reviews. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about Batman issue number 118. This one's written by Joshua Williamson with art by, Jorge Molina and several other artists that worked on this thing. This is the start of a new chapter, as it mentions here. This is post-Fear State. In fact, the first half of this issue is kind of picking up the leftover pieces of Fear State, kind of providing a bit of closure. We see the aftermath of it, Gotham celebrating. They're trying to have a party for once, and deservedly so, after all the stuff that Gotham's been going through over the past couple of years. In all honesty, they kind of deserve it. What did you have? City of Bane, then you had Joker War, then you had Fear State. It's nice to get something with a little bit more levity. And we see Batman, who's kind of still doing his thing, wandering the streets. We have criminals who see him, and they're like, okay, let's turn ourselves in. There's a bit of funny humor there. But Batman doesn't really know how to cope with Gotham celebrating. Plus, like, this issue does emphasize, like, all the stuff he's been through. Like, you get references to the whole Hugh Vile thing, stuff with Nightwing, and I believe some Justice League stuff. I haven't been reading Justice League. Barbara Gordon mentions Ghostmaker, which if you read the annual, you know he's off to train Clown Hunter. On top of that, we also have a heist at a billionaire's ball, which everyone is dressed up like villains. Why you'd want to dress up as the people who have murdered a bunch of people in your city. And also, like, there's multiple billionaires in Gotham City and not just Bruce Wayne. You know, for all those people who like to complain online about Bruce Wayne doesn't do enough with his money, well, what about these assholes, huh? I don't know. That's just something I kind of noticed. But anyways, a little bit of a confusing thing. Batman somehow has a giant Killer Croc costume and then fights off against Firefly and takes some villains down. One little girl dressed up as Punchline wants his autograph. He sends it to her. And then we also have Oracle, who's also kind of like talking about the whole mission and everything that's going on, asking him to kind of like maybe take it easy a little bit. Like, Batman says he's not really used to celebrating, and she asks him, what do you do in the past after solving a big case? And then he kind of reminisces, like, for instance, you have him with Gordon, but Gordon's no longer there. He's off in the Joker book. Selina's no longer there. Clark is off on World, and Alfred is unfortunately passed away. And then, of course, there's Damian, who he had a bit of a falling out with, and that, to me, should be like, okay, you solved this case. Shouldn't you, like, immediately want to go and try to find your son? I don't know about you, but I feel like that'd be a priority for me if I was a parent. But Williamson has confirmed that they are going to cross paths sometime soon, so it makes sense. He's also writing Robin, and he's also writing Deathstroke Incorporated, and also like some Infinite Frontier, was it Justice League Incarnate type stuff. So all these other titles are going to cross over together at some sort of point in time. So I'm curious about like how that's going to be. But anyways, we also get a little cameo from Nightwing in here. Like, they ask Bruce if he wants to come have breakfast, but he sees some sort of issue with Batman Incorporated, and that's basically what's going to take him out of Gotham. He does some investigating, and it turns out he's not going to be there to fund it because Bruce Wayne lost most of his money. And then we get kind of a surprising reveal at the end of the issue that first off, Batman Incorporated murdered some character known as Abyss. At least that's what the issue is telling us. And then we get a surprising reveal that the person now funding Batman Incorporated is none other than Lex Luthor. So that actually was kind of a surprising reveal for me. Spoilers, I guess. But it leaves me kind of intrigued where things are going to go from here. So overall consensus of this issue, the artwork is pretty solid. Is it as strong as Robin in terms of like Williamson's other books? No, it's not quite as strong because this one still has a little bit of baggage that it has to like deal with. Coming in right after the events of Fear State, so it's got to kind of clean up some loose ends from there before it can really get its story started. And this is more of kind of like, okay, half of it's kind of cleaning some stuff up, and then we have an event that kind of pushes Batman a bit out of Gotham City. So he's going to kind of go off and do his own thing for a little bit. He needs some time to reflect and maybe some time to fix some of his past relationship issues with particularly his son, which if you're a parent, your kid is out there all alone in like some sort of death tournament. I don't know about you, but like I'd be doing everything in my power to track him down. But Batman obviously had to deal with Fear State, but now that that's kind of over, I feel like that should be his top priority. But he sees this thing with Batman Incorporated, so he's going to solve that first, and probably after that is when the confrontation will happen at some point. So yeah, like I said, overall consensus, I did enjoy this issue enough. I wasn't really wowed by it, but that's because it's kind of like the setup issue, and it's kind of dealing with the aftermath of Fear State, trying to clean a few things up while also setting things up for its own story. I do like the fact that Batman's going to be kind of off doing a bit of a standalone story. Well, I'm sure it'll tie into like some of the other books, but it's going to be him outside of Gotham. So kind of like how Robin was, where it wasn't really affected by Fear State and everything else going around in there. This is just Batman kind of off doing his own thing, not having to worry about like getting mixed up in some very confusing storyline. So that's the stuff that has me intrigued and excited. And plus, it's Batman kind of out of Gotham, taking a little bit of a breather from all that stuff. And I think we do, like, as readers, need a break from Gotham and all, like, the big events and the chaos ensuing in there. Like, I want to see something a little bit different. And I think globetrotting adventure for Batman kind of going solo does sound a little bit more interesting than just another big villain takes over the city. You've done that 3 times in the past like year and a half, or the past 2 years or so. I think it's time for, or was it 2 or 3 years? I think maybe 3 years. Like, when was City of Bane? Was that 2018, 2019? I can't even remember anymore. Like, my memory is fading. But basically, you've done it so much that it's kind of become a little bit exhausting. So I think after City of Bane, Joker War, and Fear State, it's going to be good to kind of take a break and have Batman just do some detective work and solving some cases and kind of going off and doing his own thing and eventually crossing over with the Robin book, which I still think is the superior book. But the Robin book has a more interesting story, and it's a little bit more fun and upbeat. Like, they're 2 totally different things. Like, you can't really write Damian the same way as you write Bruce. They're 2 different characters, and this is something that's a little bit different going on here. So, but like I said, I do enjoy this one, but like, I don't quite love it. But it is kind of the setup, and I gotta wait to see how this story unfolds some more, because it's, you know, it's closing the chapter on one thing and starting something new. So it's kind of doing a little bit of 50-50 in this issue. I'm sure as it keeps going, it's going to get more engaging and become more interesting as the new issues come out. So yeah, overall, those are my thoughts on it. What did you think of this issue in general? Did you like it? Did you dislike it? Tell me your thoughts in the comment section down below. Are you happy Batman's going to be kind of out of Gotham for a bit and kind of doing some big like cross the global adventure of sorts? Just let me know in the comment section. So yeah, all right, well, I think I've rambled on incoherently enough. Just tell me your thoughts in the comment section down below, and be sure to like this video, share with your friends, subscribe to the YouTube channel for more content, hit that bell for notifications, and yeah, that's all I gotta say. As always, take care now, bye bye then, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.